Aaron, what is our fourth main topic today?
Our fourth main topic today comes from Ian, who says, "Hi, John, Ray, Aaron, and Rob. Hello. It's confirmed. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed with Warner Brothers that The Batman will indeed have a runtime of nearly 3 bathroom breakless hours." What do you guys think about this? Personally, I am giddy with excitement. I cannot wait to see this movie after waiting years for this, and I am totally on board with it being almost 3 hours. What do you guys think about this news? Thank you so much for taking my question. Keep up the great work. You guys are the best. No, you're the best, Ian.
Thank you so much for that, Ian. Yeah, for those of you who may recall, the other day, we talked about the fact that on IMDb, they listed that The Batman was going to be 2 hours and 55 minutes. Now, we talked about it, but I said, keep in mind as we're talking about this, that IMDb, well, normally is reliable, especially for movies that have already come out. But for movies that have not yet come out, you got to take the information you see on IMDb with a grain of salt. Like a lot of times, certain people are listed in movies and they're not in the movie, or run times or other pieces of information. I said, so, it's very possible that the movie is not going to be that long. As a matter of fact, as we were talking about IMDb listing the movie at 2 hours and 55 minutes, people in the live chat were writing in, hey, Rotten Tomatoes is listing it at 2 hours and 12 minutes. This other site is listing it at another. So we didn't really know. Well, now we do know. This comes to us from the folks over Variety who write the following. When Matt Reeves' The Batman opens in theaters on March 4th, the comic book movie fans will get to spend nearly 3 hours in Gotham City, and Robert Pattinson's Caped Crusader, the official runtime for The Batman, is a whopping 2 hours and 47 minutes without end credits. Variety has confirmed with a source close to the film. At 167 minutes without credits, The Batman is set to be one of the largest comic book tentpole movies ever. Now, here's where it's important. Whenever you see the runtime listed for a movie, always, that includes credits. Credits is always included in the official runtime of a movie. So, for Variety to be confirming that the movie is 2 hours and 47 minutes without credits, that tends to suggest that IMDb was right. You're probably looking at a 2 hour and 55 minute movie, which is nuts. And it makes it theatrically the second longest comic book movie in history. Theatrically. Wow. Only behind Avengers Endgame. That's the only theatrical comic book movie ever that it was longer. So they're coming in hot. And they're coming in big with The Batman. By the way, speaking of The Batman, I just got to throw this out there. Yesterday, Ann and I were hanging out in Irvine at the Spectrum Center and walked into the store, and I saw my first official The Batman pop. So I had the Robert Pattinson. Oh, I love this thing. You know what? We're going to give this thing away here. Not today, but we're going to give this away pretty soon. I just love that pop. I want to show it off. Anyway, nearly 3 hours. And all I could think to myself is, oh my God, I cannot wait to watch this with Ray. Ray I don't know how Ray is going to get through this thing. It's tough to get him through an episode of Peacemaker. Ray, you're the first person I got to ask, because I know you are excited about Batman. You are.
I am.
But what do you think about a 3 hour runtime?
I think of all the dark scenes, and that's not going to help. If the whole thing is dark, this movie is working so much against me that it doesn't want me to love it at all. But I'm thinking the worst thing, I'll buy 2 tickets back to back, or maybe one in the afternoon and then one at night, so I could just purposely leave at an hour and a half and then come back and watch the rest. Time it perfectly.
Oh, that's a good.
No, I'm being honest here. Like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to see the whole thing in one sitting, because there's always a spot in every movie where I find myself dozing off, like for at least 5 minutes until Anne nudges me or goes, So I don't know.
How are you able to stay awake when we do this show for 2.5 hours?
He's not.
I'm not.
Have you watched it during the show?
He passes out at least 3 times.
I'm not. I'm like,
3 times.
I'm thinking of sleep, if anything.
Thinking of sleep.
No, but okay. The 3 hours tells me that, how Matt Reeves said before that this was just going to be a one-off. Maybe he needs all those 3 hours to actually tell his story.
Well, I mean, I don't think he actually is planning as a one-off because he has signed a multi-film deal.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Because I thought we said before that he said this is not a part of the DC.
It's not. It's its own separate thing. It's its own separate thing. But
they're going to do be multiple movies?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Provided that it doesn't tank.
So this is a branch off from this, but it's not like it's not like it's standalone like
it's not connected
Joker.
to the Aquaman world, the Wonder. It's its own living thing.
I'm going to tell you this though: the detective part of Batman is what interests me in this movie. To be completely
and that's
honest.
what he said he wants to emphasize on.
The realness of it is going to be cool. I think there's not going to be anything super about it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We'll see if I can make it.
We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Peloton. Now look guys, it's a brand new year. It's 2022. And if you're like me and a lot of other people, you've probably made some kind of fitness resolutions for the new year, as we often do. But let's face it, it's not always easy or convenient or time efficient to get to the gym. It's easy to become bored and bogged down in the mundane of the same old kind of workout routines. It's hard to get motivated with that. But Peloton has your back. Now, of course, we all know Peloton's bikes, the Peloton tread. You know, Ann and I moved into our new house here. And of course, you know that I ordered a Peloton tread because I love my treadmills. But Peloton keeps working out fresh, exciting, and new to keep you motivated in the new year. Because, you know, right now, Peloton is pushing you further with so much new stuff, new classes, new music, new ways to keep you and your workouts fun and motivating at the same time. Now, you guys know me for years. I love just getting on my treadmill. I don't just get on there to jog. I often just get on there to think or do work or do research. I like doing all that. But on top of all that, they have a whole lot of classes that you can do while you're on the equipment at the same time. And listen, going into the new year, they've got a whole bunch of new stuff. For example, they have boxing classes. Peloton is stepping into the ring with you guys with this newest exercise. No gloves needed. You can discover fast, furious, and fun workouts with Peloton instructors right there in your corner on the app. And they're introducing a whole lot more in terms of daily variety in your workouts. Like, it's easier to stick to your goals when you keep your workouts interesting. Peloton's got a workout for every goal, every day, and every mood you might be in. De-stress from a long day with a 30-minute strength and 20 minutes of cardio. Do a quick 15 minutes of a total body class before work. Whatever works for you to stay motivated while having fun with bike workouts, yoga, meditation, dance, cardio, whatever it is you need. And right now, for a limited time, try the Peloton app for free for 2 months. Then it's just $12.99 a month after that. New members only. So visit onepeloton.com/app to learn more. Now that's 2 months free at OnePeloton. That's OnePeloton.com/app. The offer expires on January 31st and terms may apply. And again, we want to thank Peloton for sponsoring this video.
See,
Rob, we talked about this briefly the other day, but it's now tangible. It's done. It's official. This thing's going to be clocking in officially at close to 3 hours, maybe even more than that. We'll have to wait and see. You know, normally we said this, the longer films usually come later in the franchise. Like as the series progresses, the things get longer. And then when you come to the end of a franchise or a series or whatever, then you got to wrap everything up. So it's longer. He's coming out of the gate hot at nearly 3 hours with the first movie. I said before that tells me he wants to do a lot of world building. He wants to do a lot of, but I don't know. You're hearing it now. It's done. It's official. We know it's true. What do you think about the runtime of this?
Well, we were first discussing it the other day. I think this movie is going to have a much more epic quality to it. It's going to be far more engrossing than just Batman fights a villain. I think there's going to be a lot more going on. I think it's going to be more like Godfather-esque. And I don't know anything about the approach, but we know we've got Penguin, we know we've got Riddler, we know we've got Catwoman, we got Commissioner Gordon. So I think this is going to be an examination of a lot of things, not just, I mean, I could see this as a combination of, here's how, in my mind, it's a cross between The Godfather, Seven, and The Dark Knight Rises.
I like that. I like that. And Moonfall.
Moonfall.
And Moonfall. Yeah.
That'll be the climax of the movie. They'll all look up and go, wait, what?
That makes me want to ask Ray. What if Moonfall is 3 hours and 5 minutes long?
I hope it is.
It's about. Well, okay. I was telling Rob.
The Batwing flies up in front of the moon for that great iconic shot, and then the moon smashes right through on its way to the Earth.
A signal of the moon on the moon. No. It's because Moonfall's about space, and I love space movies.
But space
natural
is dark.
disaster.
Space is dark.
Yeah,
Space is dark.
full of terror.
That is true. I have no idea who I am anymore.
Aaron, let's ask you this. What do you think about the idea of 3 hours? I mean, look, we obviously know there's the legend of Aaron's bladder and trying to sit through Endgame and all that kind of stuff. But really, when you look at the film, what does this tell you about what they're trying to put into it, all that kind of stuff? What do you feel about this 3 hour confirmed time?
Well, I definitely am going to be up for Ray's plan of watching the first half of the movie. And while he's taking a nap, I'm going to go pee. And then we will go back together and watch the second half of the movie. So,
Wow.
Ray, high five on that. I'm into it.
They get 2 tickets out of us.
100%. Like, that's great. So I'm totally into that idea, number one. But I agree with Rob. This really is just going to be setting up an entire universe. As I said on the show the other day, I do believe that they are setting up Zoe Kravitz for her Catwoman standalone film. I just feel it in my bones that that's going to happen. And so we're not just going to see the story about the Batman. That's obviously going to be the emphasis, but we're going to see a lot of setup. And then I think that they probably have very small plans of doing a spinoff or another movie for pretty much all of these characters, and whoever pops the most is going to be the one that they go with. I mean, look at what happened with Harley Quinn. You know, we didn't know how Harley Quinn was going to jump off the screen until fans went ballistic for her. And then they were like, oh my God, she needs her own standalone movie. But I think that because they were unprepared for that, the Harley Quinn movie was not what it could have been. However, I think that right now they're like, all right, any one of these characters could be the one that we get to jump off with. So let's just make some preliminary, put just enough to wet people's whistle on each character and see which one fans resonate with. It could be Penguin. Colin Farrell.
Well, actually, HBO Max they are doing a Penguin series with Colin Farrell, so it's already in the works. So
that's the thing that the movie is going to establish just enough of Penguin to make us go, oh, I want to watch more of that.
Right.
I want to see more of that guy. You know, and I think they're going to be doing that with a lot of these characters. So as much as it's going to focus on the Batman, of course, I think we're going to see a lot more development of the supporting characters than we usually would, because they see the opportunities to fork this out.
Let me ask you guys, all of you guys, this question here. This brings up a topic we've talked about a few times over the years. And whenever a movie this comes out this close to 3 hours, brings it up again. Back in the day, I mean, before our time, the movie shows used to have an intermission.
Yeah, they did.
And
they got it.
I still think there is something to be said about movies that clock in at, say, over 2 hours and 40 minutes, having a short intermission. Because it does a couple things. It gets movie theaters more concession stand sales. Mm-hmm. It gives people an opportunity to run and use the bathroom for these really long movies. It prevents, if I'm sitting there trying to watch a movie, it is honestly less distracting for me to have a short intermission than to have people walking in and out in front of me trying to go out and refill their drinks or go into the bathroom or whatever, stuff like that. I still like the idea for movies that are really long having a short intermission. And I always, whenever I bring this up, I always get the same BS response. Oh, but then I'm taken out of the movie. I'm totally shut. Well, look, when you watch stuff at home, you are answering your phone, you're throwing your burrito in the microwave, you're getting up to use the bathroom. You're fine.
And what about commercial breaks anytime that we watch anything on television prior to 2017?
And you're always pausing it. You're always pausing and going. I mean, the one big practical drawback, though, for the idea of an intermission is the fact that at 3 hours long, that puts a big strain on the number of screenings you can have per day as it is. So now you're even making that problem even worse. So that's the thing.
I think by 5 minutes, I don't think it's that problematic. I mean, maybe, sure, logistically we have to map it out, but I also think that there should be an option in the same way that they have Mommy and Me movies, where if you want to bring your...
A Batman screening with an intermission, a Batman screening without an intermission.
For people like Ray, who need to take a nap, and for people like me, who need to take a pee, have the option
Nap
of
and pee, baby.
Yeah, of an intermission option. And then if you're somebody that just likes to go in for the full 3 hours, you can watch it without intermission. Just like if I want to bring my annoying screaming child to the movie theater, there's a place for that. I also think they should do that on airlines. If you want to fly with your kid, you fly that airline, exclusively that airline. And I say that as a parent.
Rob.
Well, first of all, I have to say, like, in the last day, Warner Brothers dropped a video of Michael Giacchino's music.
Yes,
in the Batman.
yeah.
And it's like 6.5 minutes long. It's a piece, and it's one piece. And I'm wondering, is this the end credits music? I really liked it. It was different. It added to my theory that this is a bigger, sprawling narrative. But one of the great things about intermissions, John, that I actually love is the musical score. A great intermission. You know,
it keeps you in.
Yeah, you would hear a
zone.
great piece of music, like a Lawrence of Arabia thing, and you know, one of the last movies.
Tyler's like, didn't Quentin Tarantino do that for The Hateful Eight?
Yes,
Yes, he did. Yeah, that's
because
right.
I saw the roadshow version of it, and there was that, and there's something about that. Like, I like you're seeing the end of a chapter, and then it's sort of setting you up, and then you see the other part. And, you know, even a movie like Star Trek The Motion Picture had an overture.
Yeah.
You know, and it gets you into it. I mean, we don't have that. That was part of the showmanship of movies.
The
And
cinematic experience.
yeah, and if there's a natural place to break this movie up and give us another piece of that great score.
And it's a nice
be there
moment
for
to
it.
pause and ingest what we just experienced and then go, okay, I'm ready to go back for more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting seconds at Thanksgiving.
And again,
That's exactly
I
what
only
it
think
is.
you do it for movies that are like over 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. Something along those. By the way, remember those posters came out yesterday for Batman? And one of the things I said was this marks the kickoff of a really full marketing push, because you're right. Suddenly within 24 hours, we got this musical score coming out. I think we've now got
Hot Toys announced their Batman
Hot
figures.
Toys got their announcement.
We're in the zone.
I think
You
over
got
the
a
next
pop.
6 weeks. I damn right. I just got the damn pop.
And you've drank the Kool-Aid,
I
John.
drank
You're the
Kool-Aid.
first.
I'm the guy. So anyway, guys, question is for you. Now that it is official, what do you think about this? Batman is going to be clocking in at about 3 hours long. How are you guys feeling about it? Side note, what do you guys think about the idea of an intermission for super long movies in theaters? I don't know. There's some arguments for it. There's some arguments against it. Whatever you guys are feeling, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.